escape at Dannemora. Do you want to take us through that, Luke?
I will take us through that. This is a new Showtime series that's already aired in the US. You can catch it on Tuesday nights on Sky Atlantic, or if you're a Now TV subscriber, all 7 episodes are there. This is about the true escape at a prison in upstate New York in 2015, where 2 inmates, here portrayed by Paul Dano and Benicio del Toro, are helped to escape by their sort of odd friend within the prison who teaches sewing there and stuff. Tilly, played by Patricia Arquette, who is this sort of creepy, eerie woman. Oddly, you can compare her performance to Shirley Henderson. She's mousy, she's quiet, but, you know, on the face of it, butter wouldn't melt and she wouldn't hurt a fly, but in reality she's quite controlling and vindictive. Manipulative, and she lives quite a miserable life with a happy-go-lucky, if a bit dopey, husband Lyle. And they've all, because of where it is set in upstate New York, they've all got a different sort of accent. They've all got this sort of twang.
It's very Fargo-esque,
yeah,
isn't it?
that makes them sound like they've just jumped out of Fargo and into there. So this aired over 7 episodes. It's the real-life story of their escape. Spoiler alert, they do escape. I've watched all of it, actually, all 7. And Matt and Michael have watched 1, I'm presuming. This probably wasn't even on your radar till I asked you to watch it, was it?
It wasn't, no. I struggled, struggled with it.
Do you know why?
It's really weird. It looks beautiful. The acting is really good. There's no poor acting performances there. But if the story is lacking, and I will give it another try, because obviously there's much more to happen from what you're telling me, and obviously they've got to escape and so on. If the story is lacking, I'm zoning out. I mean, Patricia Arquette is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's a stunning.
I found it really mesmerising. Yeah,
it's a stunning performance. But if the script isn't there, and I'm all for watching slow things, but it just felt nothing particularly happened. It was over an hour long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The others are shorter, but yeah, this
yeah.
Opening. And you said it looks beautiful, which it does. And one thing I neglected to mention in my sort of preamble there was that oddly, it's all directed by Ben Stiller. I think I agree with some of the things you're saying. I agree with the pacing, at least of this first one. But I think for me, I was more drawn in because I knew this was a true story, so I was kind of intrigued to know where it went, in the same way that I didn't know much about Versace, and because it was true, I wanted to know how it panned out, and I was really happy with the resolution when we got to the 7th episode. Matt, I don't think this is going to be up your street either.
I completely agree with Michael. Ben Stiller's direction, I will praise that, because I think all the shots were really well handled. When it first started, and it's that scene with Patricia Arquette and Bonnie Hunt in the interrogation, and the camera slowly pans round to Patricia Arquette. You don't see her at first, you only hear her. And I thought, I am really going to enjoy this. This scene really set the mood. And then you got to the prison, you met like her and her husband Lyle. It just slowly started to unravel. And I'm with you, I found it a real slug. I had to sort of stop halfway, do a few more things and come back to it. Because I knew it was an hour as well. That really sort of, I know I've got to deal with this for an hour. One thing I did like as well was the use of music. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, pop music.
Yeah, the use of pop music to sort of counterbalance this dark world. But I was disappointed with Benicio del Toro and Paul Dano, because I really like both of those actors, and maybe they've got more to come.
They've got a lot more to come.
But in this first episode, I found them both sort of quite sedate, especially Benicio del Toro, who is a sort of fantastic sort of brooding presence. He was very laid back and lackadaisical.
I was initially turned off for all the same reasons you were, but something about particularly Patricia Arquette's performance and that character felt like someone I hadn't really seen before, and maybe if she was an invention and not a real person, I may have gone, she's interesting, but I'm not really that bothered. But because I knew it was true, and because I knew we'd get a definitive outcome, and I'd know what happened to these people, and I'd get to see the story played out, then I really enjoyed it. And there's a great scene in episode 7 where they are on the run, and they're able to watch themselves on CNN, which I really enjoyed, sort of in an abandoned house. And episode 6 is a flashback where you find out why Paul Dano and then Benicio del Toro, what crimes they committed to end up there, which was well done. And you sort of see the evolution of why Patricia Arquette's character becomes the person she is. So, although I agree that first episode was slow and there wasn't a lot in it, there was something in there that made me think, yeah, there's only 6 more, I'm going to persist. And I was actually really quite happy that I did, because the characters develop, the performances get stronger, Benicio del Toro has much more to do and is much more menacing, kind of what you expect him to be in that first one, but much more menacing as it goes on. And I completely understand, because if I'd only just watched the one, I'd have the same feelings as you, I think. But something in there just said, just keep going, and it did reward me.
But this sort of plays to my, should you have to watch more than one episode now to enjoy the series?
No, but
or...
I didn't feel I had to. There was just something in there that...
What do you know what? Was it Patricia Arquette?
It was Patricia Arquette, and that... Because, again, I think you mentioned it in the Best of the Year podcast, that first episode of Versace was probably my least favourite, and probably my least favourite representation of the show as a whole. And if I told most people, this show is amazing, watch it, they'd watch that first one and go, I don't see what you're seeing in this.
Yeah, we know someone who was like that, don't we?
We don't anymore.
Okay.